Hello, everybody, and welcome to Anyhow, Anyway by Summer England. I'm your podcast host, Summer England. You might know me from TikTok or Instagram, where I talk about all things bookish, chaotic, cozy, hobbity. The list goes on. And if you don't know me from there, hi, I'm Summer, and that's on you if you don't know me. I just. Folks, you better lock in today, okay? First off, I have a pop filter for my mic, so hopefully I do not burst the mic with my impeccable diction, okay? Secondly, we're going to be talking about books. We're going to be talking about movies. We're going to be talking about a whole slew of chaotic things and cozy things because that's what we do here. We don't focus on just one topic. We say something and then we go down this total rabbit tangent, okay? Okay. And thirdly, my promise to you all today is that I'm going to try to not cuss because I know that there are some parents that follow me, some cozy moms who are like, I've graduated from 50 Shades of Grey and now I'm reading Monster Smut, and they just want a cozy little podcast and they don't want to always have to turn it off because somebody is saying the F word 15 times in a row. That somebody is me. I have made a mistake, the mistake, if you will, of turning on the Brittany Broski Report podcast while I was painting my child's room. He's 6. And it's definitely not safe for kiddo content. There's a lot of words he shouldn't say out loud. And I learned my lesson. And from there, I thought to myself, maybe I should give it a try. Now, that might mean that I'm saying fork and spoon a lot, and you're just going to have to just let it happen. Okay, first up, we need to talk about Nora Ephron supremacy. Let's just get into it. So a very important holiday has passed. July 5th. Summer, don't you mean July 4th? Also, Summer, that's like 2 weeks ago. That's a full 2 weeks ago. What are you talking about? Let me explain. July 4th is the end of the summer for me. It is the end of the summer season. We are now prepping for fall. These months incoming are just, we are in the queue line for fall. And thus, when July 5th rolls around, I prep myself by watching the Holy Trinity of rom-coms: Sleepless in Seattle, You've Got Mail, and When Harry Met Sally. Now, something that we need to talk about is that You've Got Mail hasn't aged well for me as a bookish girl. It hasn't. Does it have Meg Ryan? Yes. Does it have The Little Shop Around the Corner? Yes. Does it have Tom Hanks? Yes. So what's the issue? We lose an indie bookstore to a big box bookstore. And I found myself watching it this time. And I thought, I don't know if I can get behind this. I can get behind the soundtrack. I'll let that soundtrack get behind me. You know what I'm saying? Well, family-friendly content just immediately went down the hill. But anyhow, hopefully we're in the land of Shrek humor where everything's going over the heads of people. Anyhow, so I thought to myself, oh my God, when I was younger and I didn't know any better, I was fully convinced that You've Got Mail was the best rom-com movie ever. And let me tell you something. I'm a rom-com connoisseur. That's right. I'm a fearful avoidant who freaks out at the idea of love, but I love love. I contain multitudes. And when I watched You've Got Mail at the ripe age of 10, I thought to myself, this is it. It's not Runaway Bride. It's not any of these. It's not The Notebook. It's You've Got Mail. And then when I grew up, it's not You've Got Mail anymore. At the end of the movie, I found myself cringing a little bit because I was like, girl, do not go for NY152. He literally stole your bookshop that you and your mom danced in. Spoiler. Also, if you've not seen these movies, I'm not going to be summarizing them for you. Please go watch them. Please. Please. And if you don't have streaming where you're at, can you just email me and I'll try to pirate it for you? It's fine. I'm not monetized yet, so I'm allowed to say that. Secondly, Sleepless in Seattle. Okay. So I think, and might be my anxiety speaking, Bye Bye Blackbird is a cursed song. It is the song of all the dead mom characters of the 90s. The 90s were obsessed with the dead mom trope, but the dead mom was always Miss Honeycoated. She was this effervescent character who had impeccable taste, and Bye Bye Blackbird was the song that the mom sang to Jonah in Sleepless in Seattle. And whenever that song comes on, because it's always on my shuffle, it's always on my discover, because my Spotify, all my playlists are like, you have to like this song. All you do is listen to the soundtracks from this time period. I skip it because I have myself convinced that if I listen to it, I'm going to die. You guys, I go to therapy. I'm fine. I'm fine. But I got that in my head because once upon a time, when I first started posting on social media and people found out I was a mom, I got a few comments being like, please be careful. You give off the whimsical mom that always dies in 90s movies. Y'all, I have health anxiety. I want to live to be so old. I want to live to be so old. So whenever I get a little bit sick, I'm like, is this it? No, I want to go gray. I'm fine. I don't even want Botox. Please let me grow old. I would love to do that. And it's gotten in my head. It's gotten in my head. So now I stay skipping that song. But I didn't because I was watching Sleepless in Seattle. And I was crying during the movie. Okay? I was weeping like a tiny little idiot. What is going on with me? But I was also looking at Meg Ryan's hair. And she has bangs in that movie. And I usually have bangs. And you know what? In the first 20 minutes of rewatching this movie, I cut some side bangs for myself. And you know what? They look fine. I stay cutting my own hair. Now, does it always work out for me? No. But regrets mean that you took a chance. You know? Now we're on to When Harry Met Sally. I think this is definitively the best rom-com of all time. It is also why I love Book Lovers by Emily Henry. And you're like, why? That has literally nothing to do with that story at all. And I believe People We Meet on Vacation is actually Emily Henry's Nora Ephron comp to When Harry Met Sally, because Poppy and Alex have known each other forever. But my posit is, my literary analysis is that Book Lover, one of my favorite romance novels, is a fall book. When Harry Met Sally is a fall movie. Now, they do feature a few Christmas scenes. They do have a really good rendition of I Think I'll Be Home for Christmas, maybe White Christmas. And you could watch it in the holidays and I'm not going to fault you for it, okay? I'm not going to knock on your door and say, hello, turn that movie off. I'm not going to be doing that because that would be weird. Anyhow, that movie has such a chokehold on me in every way possible. I think it is such a good oh, you know what? And I'm not going to cut this out because I'm human too, okay? I stumble over my own words and doubt whether my existence on this earth is merited or not. It has a chokehold on me because it is the most, I believe, realistic representation of love in a rom-com format, because it is two flawed people, but they're not overly flawed, because sometimes I feel like, especially modern day rom-coms and even modern day rom-com novels, the main characters are overly flawed or have some really deep trauma so that their problematic elements that they display on the page can sort of be justified away in some means. And I'm like, we can just have normal people fall in love. Everyone's flawed. It's fine. Their mom doesn't have to be dead. Their dad doesn't have to be dead. Bye Bye Blackbird doesn't need to be playing right now. No one needs to have cancer. Please. Please stop putting cancer in books. It freaks me out. I don't like reading about it. I'm sorry. Especially, obviously put cancer in cancer books. Okay? We need whatever. But in a rom-com, John Green, I'm looking at you right now. How dare you? You started this trend. You did it. And maybe Walk to Remember also did it. I never ha-ha'd at that. But please stop featuring that as a prominent story or whatever. Because I have health anxiety and every book is written with my health anxiety in mind. Duh. Now, after I finished watching the Holy Trinity of rom-coms, I thought to myself, now is my time. I need to audition to be the next normal girl for rom-coms because listen, I have everything you need for a new rom-com. I run into stuff accidentally. I don't pick up when people are flirting with me. I have a pretty poor history of fearful avoidant attachment situations where I sort of runaway bride. I have a very approachable look when I'm out in public, you don't think to yourself, I can't talk to that person. They're way too pretty. You think to yourself, that person could be anybody. That's another blonde person. And that's what you want for a rom-com, is an everyman, right? You want a conduit. I've been told that I look like a bug, a gecko, and Princess Buttercup. And if that's not my sun, moon, rising, I don't know what is. And before you all come to my defense of, you do not look like a bug or a gecko, you guys, I know that. I understand that. But I do have huge eyes, and I do have giant glasses to the point where I can't see the rim. And sometimes if I walk past you and you all of a sudden are considering a new insurance policy with Geico, that's why. But all that to say, I think that would do great on film. I've never been in a movie. I've never looked at a camera. I don't know where to look. I don't know if there's a light to look at. I've never been on set. The most I know about it is maybe people say cut, action, lights, camera. That's about all that I know. Do I act? Yes. Okay. I'm a theater actor. I'm a Shakespearean classical theater actor. Wouldn't that make a great 90s rom-com lead? Let's re-up the rom-coms. Thank you. And that is my audition. Thank you. See, that went really well. I think it did. And I cut my own bangs as well. So you don't even have to do my hair and makeup. Okay? I come with my own everything. Next segment. Oh my gosh. Next segment. What I'm reading. Well, the title is redacted this week because what I'm reading is leading me into something that you all need to lock in for. Okay? I need you to buckle up, strap in, strap on, and let's do this. So before I do this, I just need to preface that I'm not speaking out of my butthole when we're about to go into this slight literary analysis defense of certain types of literature, okay? I have a master in Shakespeare and performance, blah, 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 blah. I have an MFA, blah, 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 blah. I've taught literature, writing, storytelling, theater, all that jazz at both the graduate and undergraduate level. I have taught pedagogy. I've taught blah, 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 okay? Basically, my resume says blah, blah, blah. All that to say is that what I'm about to discuss with literature is coming from somebody who not only is an avid reader of all types of literature, but also a teacher. So, okay? So if you fight me, fine, I love to bicker. I really do. If I can bicker with you, then I can fall in love with you. Okay? So, I am currently reading a very popular YA novel. Extremely popular. It's a series. It has longevity. It'll probably get made into a movie. And so far, I really dislike it. The story is diluted. The characters have no type of internalization, and I find myself having more questions than I have answers, but I don't care enough about the story to really be curious about it. I am trying to enjoy it, but it's moving so quickly and trying to do so many things that it's kind of doing nothing well. Now, that's a hot take because, again, I am leaving the title redacted because I've not read the entire series. I'm not even finished with the first book. Things could come around. At this point in the book, I don't know if I'm going to have excellent things to say about the first book considering how poorly it started, but it brings me to a broader takeaway from reading YA, especially YA series, is that a lot of times they're fumbling the landing. They are trying to do too much. They are trying to put too many topics in and forgetting characters, and it doesn't have to be that way. And I know, and I have seen a lot of people go into reading slumps because of this, because they read these super popularized series and then it gives them nothing at all. It's kind of a lot to get through, and then the ending is very mitigated to regretful payoff. And this is my defense of middle grade literature. Okay, this is where middle grade and even children's literature comes into the fray. Now, this all goes back to once upon a time, I posted a video on my TikTok where I suggested that if you're in a reading slump, you should consider picking up a middle grade novel, a middle grade fantasy especially, because when you are reading something for younger audiences, the author does not have as much wiggle room to mess around with the story. The storytelling arc has to be clear. Character intentions have to be clear. And when you go to even younger literature, where the story is actually supposed to be read by someone to a younger audience, you have that, both of those to the max, right? The story has to be mega clear, the characterization has to be mega clear, but the story also, if it's really good, has takeaways for the person reading it, the adult, and the child. And that's where I find middle grade and children's literature to be the truest, purest form of what I enjoy about stories. I am not saying that they are better literature, but what I am saying is that if you enjoy them, you should not let people make you feel stupid. Now, going back to the TikTok video, I posted this video, right? And usually I don't read my comments because I don't care. Good or bad or middling, I can't be bothered. I think it's the only reason I'm still on social media is I do not know what people say in the comment section. I just don't. But for whatever reason, I read the wrong comment at the right time, and it was somebody who said, adults should read literature for adults and not dumb themselves down. And I thought to myself, wow, you're so dumb. And I know that's a really huge thought. That's a really big takeaway. It's very philosophical. Remember how I prefaced, I was a professor at the graduate and undergraduate level. That was in my syllabus. Those were my takeaways. This person who said that, they were dumb. But I wasn't sad. I wasn't even necessarily mad. I just wanted to throttle them because I think that there's this glorification with reading as an adult that if it's not fortifying you in some sense, if it's not difficult to get through, or if it's an easy read, that it is a lesser experience. You guys, that's just a dumb take. That's just dumb. It's verging into ableism if you really boil down to especially when we get into audiobooks or not reading, blah, 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 blah. And definitely into accessibility. But if we take all of that whatever aside, it's just a dumb take and it's wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Because again, middle grade and children's literature have so much less room to mess up a story than YA, fantasy, modern, anything meant for adults. Anything. Because at that point, it's open season. You can talk about any topic. You can suddenly monologue about a current cultural event outside of the story that makes zero sense. You can't do that when you are writing a story meant for a child. You can't. Now, that's not assuming that the child cannot grasp difficult concepts. In fact, I find a lot of these middle grade and a lot of children's literature deals with very heavy concepts of otherness, of grief, of feeling left out, of losing a parent, all of these difficult topics that you are navigating no matter what age you are at. And because they have it in the structure of a really clear story, of an A to B story, the reader is able to take away what they need to take away from this, from the experience. And so, all this to say, if you're in a reading slump, and if you, like me, are really struggling with a lot of current, if you're not really into ACOTAR, but you would like to read something that is in that vein, that's fun, that's a fun read, that is meant for entertainment, which is another thing. You can just read for fun. I really hate all of the jargon about you need to be critically read. You can just read for fun. It's fine. When I sit down and watch Great British Bake Off, I'm not expecting to be fortified. I don't need that, okay? My literature doesn't have to traumatize me for me to learn something from it. Okay, I'm looking at you, the people who make high school students read The Lovely Bones, The Devil in the White City. Heck, we can even put Great Gatsby, The Joy Luck Club, these intense stories of suffering. And that's fine. You can do that. I'm not saying that that's not important pieces of literature, but we don't couple it with anything at all. Can we read Anna Karenina and Percy Jackson in the same semester, please? Can the canon overlords let up a little bit? Because you can get good things from both. You don't have to suffer in literature for it to have meant something to you. You can enjoy it. And if you're finding yourself in a reading slump, you don't know what to read, you would like something easy to read, but it's not going to weigh you down, bog you down, please go to your local library first and foremost and get a middle grade novel. Literally any of them. They are probably great. Middle grade is one of the genres, pieces of literature where I have enjoyed every single book I have ever picked up in that genre. It doesn't matter what it's about, but especially the fantasy and especially the series. I just read a great one called Ravenfall. Oh my gosh. It's Halloween Town, it's spooky, but it's also dealing with bigger topics of how you exist in the world as a Jewish person who's running an inn where people might have an issue with that, and a little girl who's trying to grapple with, I can talk to the dead also. I am a Jewish girl in this world. How do I navigate that world and this world in that vein? And it's great. It's excellent. And the vibes, are you kidding me? If there's anybody listening right now who has ever seen the movie Spooky House, which was like when Blockbuster was a thing, I don't think it's streaming anywhere. Maybe it is. But it was one of those movies that we went and just picked whatever looked the best and the most fun. And Spooky House has such a great vibe. But Ravenfall is of that genre of Halloween Town. It's fun, but it's dealing with bigger topics. It's an excellent read. I have suggested it to so many people who were like, I would like to read something that's fun fantasy, but I just don't want to get into these huge series. Okay, Queen, read Ravenfall, please. Now to children's literature. Please go do yourself a favor and go again to your local library. Go into the children's book section and play the game that my kiddo and I do, where we close our eyes, we run our hands down the spines of books, we land on whenever we feel like we want to land, and we pull that book out and we take it home. We have discovered so many fun stories that way. And again, like middle grade, children's literature has a lot less room to mess around with a story because, one, kids don't have like a huge attention span. You're probably reading to them at night and they're sleepy eepy. And you gotta make sure that the story is meaningful, fun, to the point, a little catchy. The best ones are the pictures are so fun, but you don't need them. I could read this to anyone and without the pictures and they would be able to get the gist of the story. Please go do that because I think it is delightful and it helps break this weird notion that a lot of people I know have where, well, because I'm an adult, I can't read stuff like that. It's not meant for me. Okay, I know y'all are watching Bluey. Okay? Go to your library, please, and go pick out some children's books and go look at the pretty pictures. Go take a walk. And if anybody's like, are you reading a children's book right now? How about you go get a better attitude, never talk to me again, and maybe have a hobby that's worth it? Okay? Thank you. I can smell your millennial gray kitchen from here. Thank you. You can leave. You can go away. You know? So, or just send them my way. They don't want to get in a fight with me because I like to fight. I would love to bicker. I would love to go back and forth. For children's books recommendations, a starter pack, if you will, Mushroom Lullaby is excellent for the pictures, also the coziness, and Miss Rumphius. I'm sorry. If you've not read Miss Rumphius, you are missing out. One of the little white lies that I have told my kid is that Miss Rumphius is me. And so every time we read the book, he's like, oh, the story about you. And I'm like, yes, it is, young one. Yes, it is. Okay? I tell him about Santa Claus. I'll tell him that, oh, no, yeah. Oh, you're going to grow up and realize, Mom, you didn't plant a field of lupines in Maine. No, honey, I didn't. And Santa's not click-clacking around on our roof. Oh, no, I was supposed to be family friendly. He is, I swear. He's up there. Anyways, anyhow, anyways, that's my defense of middle grade and children's literature. So if you're in a reading slump like me, please do yourself a favor and go get yourself one of those books. I promise you, it's going to be the best thing ever. Updates on writing routine. So, this really magical thing is happening whenever I sit down to draft my romance novel where two Shakespeare professors are vying for the same tenure track position. I get edits for my first novel that I wrote. It's like kind of amazing because I'll set up my writing routine for the week. I'll set up the entire day around it. And then all of a sudden I get an email and it's like, edits are in. Oh, thank you. No, I didn't want to write this other book that I've been drafting forever. But I still am sticking to it. I still am in the drafting mode and I'm also in the editing mode. Luckily, the second round of edits is just chiseling away at things and really cleaning up bits. It's so fun. Can I tell you that the second round of edits is very worth it. The first round of edits feels very much like, I don't know if there are any Play-Doh people, Play-Doh lovers, sculpture lovers that are listening to this podcast right now, but you know when you're creating something and you see the end goal, but you're in that formation process and it's really frustrating and it's really ugly, but then all of a sudden you get to the point where you can start adding details. Excuse me, this is what life is about. This is why I want to grow old, is suddenly I have this painting in front of me, I have this little sculpture in front of me, and I can just put pretty little details on it. And that's what second round edits feels like. The first round, I definitely crashed out. I just took a long time to steep in letting all of the notes settle into my brain. And I was trying to force myself to make it settle faster because I am a pro at putting unnecessary amounts of pressure and deadlines on myself. But the second round has been so fun. So what I've been doing is I've still been drafting my romance novel, and it's just sort of like falling out of me. You know when that happens, when you just start something and all of a sudden you're like, oh wow, this has been needing to get out for a while, because I went to the library and then all of a sudden I was 2,100 words in and I was writing the scenes and the scenes kept flowing. And when I revisited it again and reread it, I was like, great, I know exactly what happens next. I feel like maybe it's been nice, I guess, to not have drafted this romance novel on the regimented routine as usual, because I still have been thinking about the characters. I've been fleshing them out in my brain. I've been making little notes about them. I've been inhabiting them during the day. I've been thinking about their grocery list. I've been thinking about all of these bits and bobs, and it's really been able, because thinking is such a huge part of the writing process. And it's not the sexy stuff on the writing routine. It's not your word count. It's not you even sitting down at the computer, but it is obviously important to ponder, to think, to just let the ideas come. And so I have really enjoyed being able to write that novel while I'm editing my first novel. And announcements to come, okay? Announcements to come. And I've been given the slightest green light to let you know that announcements are to come. Have I been doing that already? Yeah. Yeah. But that's neither here nor there. I'm excited. I can't help it. You don't understand. I'm so excited. So my writing routine this week has actually been really fun because I've been walking to my local library and I've been setting up at their desks like I'm a pressed corporate girly. I'll have my little tote bag and I make my little iced coffee. Also, I'm sorry. This is a side note. I made the world's best iced mocha oat milk latte this week. I sipped it. I was on the phone with my sister. This is actually embarrassing, but I was on the phone with my sister when I sipped it, and it was so good that a little bit of it dribbled out of my mouth. Oh, I have problems, but that's okay. It was so delicious. So anyways, I pack up my bag. It's all cozy because I think one of the things about writing routines is that sometimes you need to get out of your own house because I cannot draft a novel on the couch that I watch TV on once a month. You know what I mean? Or in my bed where I sleep. Sometimes I need to just be alone in public and go to the library. Hello, please go to your library. Your library is so awesome, I promise. I promise, even if it's not, it is. Stop. It is. It is. Okay? And I set up my little desk as if I'm a New York law assistant just trying to devil wear Prada my way into a great court case. Oof, man, I know so little about the things I just said. And I've been writing the romance novel there. And then I am editing my cozy fantasy at home over breakfast, all that jazz. Now, this leads me into news that doesn't matter because we're talking about daily routines. And in the news that doesn't matter for this week, it's the news that doesn't matter is about me, by the way. Look, I'm just a bookish girl who's on a fitness journey. Okay, I hate the sentence that just came out of my mouth, but it's true. Now, I'm not doing any type of fitness journey that's like, I want to lose weight, I want to do this. What I want to be able to do is if they're taking the hobbits to Isengard, I can jog all the way there, pick those buddies up, and jog all the way back. No, but actually, the reason why I had a moment where I'm like, girl, you have to be stronger than this. I walk at the park, okay, and I am really hydrated, and I needed to go use the bathroom. Well, the bathrooms at this public park are heinous. They are silver tanks of dread. They don't even have a lid or a rim. It's just a low, shallow bowl. And I tried to hover for obvious reasons, and I almost lost my life. I was pitching forward and back, and if I fell into that unholy water, I wouldn't be growing old. That's for sure. I might be growing mold. Who knows what would happen? But I thought that I had leg strength because I walk 20,000 steps a day. I mow my huge yard that's entirely uphill. No, I have gardener strength. I have gardener strength. I have walker strength. I have stamina for days. The moment I tried to hover over that toilet and I was physically unable to, and I had to sit on the cold rim, the unholy water splashing up on me, I said, okay, things have to change. Things have to change. So I do the natural thing. I start waking up at 5 a.m. and doing Pilates. I do Issa Welly on YouTube because she's very cozy. And I think to myself, Pilates is great, right? I'm gonna gain muscle. It's low impact because I have a bum knee. I'm a bum unit. And so I'm doing that for a few weeks, coupled with going on 5-6 mile walks, right? I'm thinking this is going to solve things. I'm thinking the next time I'm at a public park and I need to go to the bathroom, I'm going to do it without fear, honey. Okay, this isn't about body positivity or body neutrality. I just need to be able to squat over the piss tank and not fall to my doom, okay? The stuff in there could kill a vampire and a werewolf. It's godforsaken waters in a silver tub. Okay, well, so the result of that was that one day I put on a bra that used to fit well, and it's gaping. I think to myself, it must have stretched out. I put on another one. Okay, there's more room in here than there was before. I put on pants. These pants used to be tight. I like to have a booty. I think it's nice. The pants are gaping. Oh, okay. Okay. What? Well, so I complained about this conundrum to somebody who played the Professor Bear to my Jo March. And anyways, he has muscle, so I thought to talk to him about it. And he betrays me because I say this great injustice has happened. I've been doing Pilates and walking 5-6 miles and I'm losing my butt. And he claps back with, have you Have you lifted any weights? Uh, excuse me? Have I lifted? No? Okay. Have you done hip thrusts? Hip thrusts? In public? In this economy? For free? No. What's next? Do you want to post my feet online behind a paywall? What are you saying? Are you saying you want me to go into the gym and lift weights? No. I'm not, what? Whatever. Well, I call my friend. She's a girl's girl. I think to myself, she is going to at least comfort me and say, I'm sorry for your loss. Instead, she says, well, are you lifting weights? Excuse me, is this anti-summer day? Does everyone hate me? No, I'm not lifting weights. And she says, okay, in Pilates, are you doing the fire hydrant kicks? No, I skipped that part of the videos because it hurts. It does. I'll do the whole thing. But we get to the part and she's like, okay, donkey kick out to the side. And I'm like, ooh, I'll plank instead. I'll plank and I'll do push-ups instead. No boobs, no butt. Oh, so the consequences of my actions. And like, you guys, it doesn't matter. I'm not out of here being like, oh, I want whatever to get juiced up. I guess I just thought in this hobbity fitness journey where I'm doing Pilates at 5 a.m. in the morning and then walking is that I would get juicier, just maybe a bit more supple. Nope, just willowy. I love it when my pants look like a diaper. That's my favorite thing in the world. I'm a writer. I'm always sitting down. Who's looking at me? What you need to be looking at is the tip type of my fingers. Those have curves, let me tell you what. Okay. So I'm just a bookish girl on a fitness journey. That's new in the news. I'll keep you updated. I don't know if I will. I can't imagine a world in which I'm going to remember or if people are going to care. But, moving your body is important, whatever. Having healthy, unproblematic conversations about getting stronger, I think is important. And so if you, like me, struggle hover peeing, then I'm with you. And on the bright side, I am getting closer to being able to hover pee. And I know that's because I've done Pilates at 5 a.m. and sometimes I do the Stairmaster. But every time I get on the Stairmaster, I'm like, this isn't right. This is unfair. Enough of my life has been hard. I had such a bad time growing up. I have plenty of religious trauma. Can I just not do the Stairmaster? And I'm not one to blame everything on everything that happened in the past, but every time I get on that Stairmaster, I really regress. Do I do it? Yeah, but my inner monologue is not like, oh yeah, get gains and pump iron, whatever. I don't know what they say. Dry rub protein powder down your esophagus. It's like a tiny mouse voice in my head crying because I put it on level 7, and I'm going and I'm trying to listen to songs that are amping me up. I'm listening to Pale Pale Moon from Sinners, one of the best movies ever. And I'm listening to Father Figure by George Michael because I'm like, yeah, give me that father figure, baby. I'm listening to Faith by George Michael, okay? I'm listening to a lot of George Michael. Is that a red flag on me? I don't know. But it's not helping. It's not cutting through my brain being like, hey, I'm really upset that you're doing this right now. This burns, this hurts. You're covered in sweat. Everything's sticking to you. And on the other side, I'm like, but yeah, you're moving your body. You're getting stronger. But the whiny part of me is still going. And the thing is that I keep to it. Okay, I am absolutely a SWAT for a routine. I will be at the gym when I say I'm at the gym. It's just when I start doing things that require, the stuff that would grow the parts of me that I've lost is when I'm like, oh, I'll do 6 miles on the treadmill at a 12 incline while I read my book. Is that okay? No? Oh, okay. All right, sick. No, I didn't want it to be. It's fine. It's fine. What I've been listening to this week, I have been listening to When Harry Met Sally soundtrack. You guys, come on. There is nothing more cozy than waking up, you have your little breakfast, you put in your little Bose Comfort, not sponsored, quiet earbuds, you turn off the outside world because you're on quiet mode, and you start listening to When Harry Met Sally, and Harry Connick Jr. comes on. There's this big build up. There's da 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 da. We're in suspension, and then it had to be you. Oh my God, I'm shook. I'm sat. Are you kidding me right now? Now, did I go on this really weird tangent this week to the person who played Professor Bear to my Joe March about, I always thought Harry Connick Jr. was a Mormon. He didn't know who this was. He was like, Henry Cullick or something. I don't know what he said. Did anybody, I'm not asking the greater viewers if you also thought he was Mormon, but I think anybody related to theater who can sing, I'm like, oh, they must be Mormon. Anyways, that Catholic man can sing. Harry Connick Jr. is all over that When Harry Met Sally album, and I walk to it every morning. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. It's so cozy. I've also been listening to Sierra Farrell. Hello? I Could Drive You Crazy? Well, I come down here from the mountaintop. She's my favorite. She is actually my favorite. If somebody was like, oh, who's your favorite artist? I'm going to say hey, you guys, content warning. We're going to talk about horoscope right now. I'm a Sierra Farrell sun. I am a Harry Connick Jr. moon. And I'm like an Otis Redding rising. Why? Well, Sierra Farrell is grassroots country, and I believe, as a Kentuckian, I'm that way. Harry Connick Jr., my moon, how he presents to the world, classy. As for the Otis Redding rising, I have nothing to say about that one. I just like it. I like that music. Okay, I'm done with that really insufferable part of what I just did accidentally. I've been listening to Sierra Farrell, though. If you like folky country and a great singer, or you just like good music, you should listen to her. And then I've been listening to It Ain't Me, Babe by Joan Baez. Go away from my window, go at your own chosen speed. I feel like a Ken Barbie doll right now singing to you guys. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a soundbite in case you hadn't heard the music before. I'm really sorry. I just realized when I did that, maybe I'll lose monetization because I sang too much. Well, no, because I don't have it. It's fine. We're fine right now. I apologize for that. I do. I take it back. Anyhow, anyway, I think that's going to do it for today. If you're in a reading slump, please go to your local library. And if you really like the book and you're like, I want this on my bookshelf, then go to an indie bookstore. And while you're there, mourn the lost bookstore of Kathleen Kelly. Okay? Because I'll be mourning that forever. Okay? And if you need a good walking soundtrack, and if you too are a bookish girly who's on a fitness journey, who, is just walking about, bit-bopping about, know I'm there with you in spirit. Okay. I hope you have a great week. Read some good books, listen to some good music, and stay cozy. Bye.